frustration. By the time Spider-Man Far From Home wrapped up Phase 3, barely any information about Phase 4 was available. But at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel Studios announced what was to come in Phase 4 of the MCU and beyond. Many fan-favorite characters will be returning to the big screen, as well as some new heroes fans can look forward to meeting. It's time to reveal all the information that's out there about Phase 4, and how it fits into the timeline in the current MCU. Natasha Romanoff has had a tough time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe ever since she first appeared in the movie Iron Man 2. No, it's not all of the enemies she's had to fight or the personal trauma she's overcome over the years. It's her character. At first, even actress Scarlett Johansson admitted Natasha was little more than eye candy who just so happened to be trained as a spy. We've seen her make questionable romantic calls, struggle to find her identity, and ultimately sacrifice her life to save the day in Avengers Endgame. Even Johansson admitted she didn't find Natasha's demise easy to deal with. She admits to feeling overwhelmingly sad about her character's fate in the MCU. Johansson claims her co-stars tried to comfort her by pointing out that she's getting her own standalone movie, but that's not quite the same. Thankfully, that's not the end of Natasha's story. The Black Widow movie Marvel Studios has been talking about for years is finally going to be hitting theaters in Phase 4. In fact, since all the way back in 2004, there was talk about Lionsgate creating a Black Widow movie. Because it never ended up happening, the character rights reverted to Marvel Studios, who were able to include the character in the MCU. Not only is this movie happening, but it's going to kick off Phase 4 on May 1st, 2020. Considering the last appearance she made in Endgame, it wasn't surprising to find out that it takes place prior to that movie. However, where Natasha's standalone movie landed on the MCU timeline still managed to be surprising. Many fans assumed the Black Widow movie would take place prior to Iron Man 2 and showcase Natasha's origin story and how she became a spy. But while it does take place before her fateful fall from Vormir, it takes place quite some time after her MCU debut. According to Scarlett Johansson, where we find Natasha in her life at this point is very specific. And where is that specific spot? Apparently it takes place after the events of Captain America Civil War, which was the first film in Marvel's phase. After Natasha sided with Steve Rogers against the Sokovia Accords, they essentially became fugitives who didn't resurface until 2018's Avengers Infinity War. What they had been up to during that gap in time remained a mystery. But Johansson has shed some light over what Natasha was experiencing, and what Black Widow will show. Johansson describes Natasha as being in a dark place and grappling with her own self. She may be forced to take a long, hard look at herself. Isn't her own greatest enemy here. In fact, a highly anticipated comic book villain will be making his big screen debut in the movie, the Taskmaster. Also known as Tony Masters, this villain has the ability to recreate the movements of those who oppose him. But while Natasha will have enemies to face, she'll also have allies who have never made an MCU appearance. Natasha is far from the only person familiar with the infamous Red Room. Rachel Weisz will be portraying Melina, and Florence Pugh will play Yelena Belova. O.T. Fagbenle will be playing the role of Mason, Natasha's ally from her days with S.H.I.E.L.D. and someone who's romantic in her. Fans are looking forward to learning more about Natasha and see her in action once again, but there's one worrisome aspect of Black Widow's place in the MCU timeline. What happened between Natasha and Clint Barton in Budapest? Marvel Studios has confirmed let us know just what happened to them in Budapest, an event that has only been mentioned in the vaguest of terms up until now. This could finally provide us with a piece of MCU history that has been missing since the first time it was mentioned in the Avengers. We've been waiting years to see a movie about founding member of the Avengers, Natasha Romanoff, but there are plenty of new heroes fans are eager to see in the MCU as well. Marvel Studios has been teasing us about an Eternals movie for quite some time, so fans were ecstatic when it was announced to be taking place in Phase 4. The Eternals is scheduled to hit theaters on November 6, 2020, and will introduce a slew of superpowered characters into the MCU. The Eternals are characters created by Marvel Comics legend Jack Kirby, who also had a hand in coming up with many of our favorites, including Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and the Black Panther. They're the result of celestial involvement in the human evolutionary process, so although they look like humans, they have impressive powers, including immortality. But while the Celestials created the mostly benevolent Eternals, they also created their greatest enemy. The premise of the movie is that the Eternals must protect humanity from their insidious counterparts, the Deviants. While it's uncertain exactly when this movie will take place, the fact that most of the characters are immortal provides Marvel Studios with limitless options. According to Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige, they fill in some missing gaps in MCU history. Only little information about the Celestials is known thanks to the Collector from Guardians of the Galaxy, and nowhere is actually the severed head of one of those beings. Ego the Living Planet was introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and he helped show what kind of terrible power the Celestials possess. Feige claims Ego was involved with others of his kind at one point, but says viewers will learn much more about their agenda and what they've been up to. It certainly seems as though the Eternals movie will be filling in some gaps in the MCU's lore. Feige has stated that the Eternals will cover a long period of time, although it's unknown how it'll coincide with the current day in the MCU. Let's take a look at the characters who predate even the mighty Thor. Angelina Jolie will be playing the role of Athena, and claims she's thrilled to become a part of the cinematic institution that is the MCU. She'll be joined by Richard Madden as Icarus and Salma Hayek as Ajak, the leader of the Eternals. As for the rest of the cast, Kumail Nanjiani will be playing Kingo, Brian Tyree Henry will portray Phastos, Leah McHugh is Sprite, and Don Lee will be Gilgamesh. But it's Lauren Ridloff's character Makkari who represents an important MCU first. Lauren Ridloff is known for her role as Connie on AMC's The Walking Dead, and now she's going to play the first deaf character in the MCU. In the comic books, there's a period of time in which Hawkeye goes deaf and learns ASL in order to communicate. Many fans hoped this would be something incorporated into the MCU, but it looks as though the honor first is going to Makkari instead. Unlike many other high-profile Marvel characters, the Eternals are relatively obscure. They never achieved the popularity of other heroes like Spider-Man or Captain America, but Marvel has done wonders with little-known characters before. For example, look at how popular the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are, and how much creative freedom the cast and crew were able to have as a result. This, combined with the all-star cast, makes the Eternals a movie many people are very much interested in. The next movie in Marvel's Phase 4 lineup is already causing controversy, even though it's not scheduled to debut until February 12, 2021. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will introduce Asian superhero Shang-Chi to the MCU, and tie his story into that of established terrorist group the Ten Rings. But not everyone is excited about this, and in fact, some fans in China are downright furious. There's no denying that as great as Marvel comic books are, they've come a long way since the early days. For quite a while, their depictions of Asian characters were problematic, and more often than not, they were reduced to harmful stereotypes. Even Wong from Doctor Strange needed a major revamping from his subservient comic book origins. Shang-Chi is an especially troublesome character, since his father is the legendary Fu Manchu, or basically the epitome of an Asian stereotype. For this reason, many fans believe Marvel Studios is making a mistake by bringing Shang-Chi and his story to the big screen. But there are plenty of people excited to see martial arts master Shang-Chi on the big screen, particularly Chinese-Canadian actor Simu Liu, who was tweeting at Marvel Studios about this movie for ages before it was announced. He had previously complained about a lack of diversity in the MCU, and now he's part of Phase 4's promise of greater diversity. Not only will Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings introduce an Asian superhero to the MCU, but it could also redeem a popular comic book character many fans feel Marvel Studios has treated poorly in the past. The Mandarin has long been a nemesis of Iron Man, and originally he was going to be the primary antagonist of the very first Iron Man movie all the way back in 2008. In the comic books, the Mandarin possesses 10 rings that are imbued with alien technology, but in the MCU, the 10 Rings is a terrorist organization who kidnapped Tony Stark and Iron Man, and continued to cause him nothing but trouble. Ben Kingsley played actor Trevor Slattery in Iron Man 3, who was masquerading as the Mandarin. Many fans were livid about not getting to see the real villain in the MCU, but Marvel Studios slightly redeemed themselves with the one-shot All Hail the King. This confirmed that there's an actual Mandarin somewhere in the MCU, and he will be in the Shang-Chi movie. Or will Marvel Studios rewrite history and make the Mandarin Shang-Chi's father instead of the problematic new characters into the MCU? But there are some familiar version of Earth, causing Peter Parker to delightfully exclaim that the MCU is a multiverse. Of course, it turned out Quentin was lying, but what does that mean for the multiverse? Is it real or not? Doctor Strange director Scott Derrickson was able to shed some light on that confusing question. Derrickson is returning to direct Multiverse of Madness, and he urges viewers not to rely on Quentin Beck's version of the truth. He stated just because Quentin Beck makes up lies about the multiverse doesn't mean it isn't real. This statement, combined with the title of the movie, sure makes it seem like this film will unequivocally prove the fact that the MCU is in fact a multiverse. Considering how revolutionary Derrickson describes the movie, there's no guarantee that it'll be taking place on the main timeline. Although Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will feature familiar characters, Derrickson has claimed it'll be the first scary MCU film. Benedict Cumberbatch, who will be reprising his role as the eponymous character, claims both Strange and the audience will be encountering unexpected things. Which is a bold statement, considering all the things Doctor Strange has seen so far in his MCU career. According to Derrickson, he was positively brimming with ideas when making the first Doctor Strange movie, but was forced to put them aside for the sake of providing Strange with a comprehensive origin story. Now that the origin story is out of the way, Derrickson is looking towards bringing some truly terrifying beings from the comic books to the big screen. He originally wanted comic book villain Nightmare to be the antagonist of the first. Many fans wonder if he'll be featured in the sequel. It's possible the multiverse mentioned in the title could be a reference to the Nightmare realm from the comic books. The previous film left off with Carl Mordo turning his back on Strange and his former allies, vowing to take down practitioners of the mystic arts. While it isn't confirmed whether or not he's going to be returning for this film, another familiar figuring in this movie, and she's going to have a major part to play. Actress Elizabeth Olsen will be reprising her role as Scarlet Witch in the Doctor Strange sequel, and although Wanda Maximoff might seem like an unlikely partner for Strange, there's some method to this madness. According to Kevin Feige, Scarlet Witch has an absolutely massive amount of raw power, but has had precious little training. In contrast, Doctor Strange is all about training and learning to control powerful cosmic forces. When Scarlet Witch was first introduced in Avengers Age of Ultron, magic wasn't as prominent in the MCU. Wanda's powers were attributed to the Mind Stone, but they do seem similar to the ones used by Doctor Strange. Perhaps this movie will provide an explanation for the connection as well as an opportunity for these two powerhouses to learn from one another. Since Derrickson has expressed relief in getting Strange's origin story out of the way, it's safe to say this movie isn't a prequel to the first. Following the events of Captain America Civil War, Wanda and Vision went off on their own before the latter perished in Avengers Infinity War. Based on this information, it seems likely Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will take place following Avengers Endgame. Although if the multiverse is involved, time could have surprisingly little relevance here. While some films focus on filling gaps in the history of the MCU, others move time forward like the fourth movie in the Thor franchise. Thor: Love and Thunder around to oversee New Asgard in quite some time. Valkyrie was first introduced in the movie Thor: Ragnarok, and there was a scene cut from the final film that involved a woman sneaking out of Valkyrie's bedroom. There was also going to be a moment in Endgame where Valkyrie rejected Thor's kiss after he turned over New Asgard to her. Although Feige was reluctant to comment on how Valkyrie's orientation will impact the story of Love and Thunder, he added that it'll contain a level of representation in the movie Thor: Ragnarok. And there was a scene cut from the final film that involved a woman sneaking out of Valkyrie's bedroom. There was also going to be a moment in Endgame where Valkyrie rejected Thor's kiss after he turned over New Asgard to her. Although Feige was reluctant to comment on how Valkyrie's orientation will impact the story of Love and Thunder, he added that it'll contain a level of representation he hopes will carry across all Marvel movies. Speaking of romance, Love and Thunder will also involve the return of Thor's previous girlfriend, Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman. Her absence in Ragnarok was explained away with the mutual breakup excuse, but now it seems that she's going to be back in action, and she's graduating from Thor's love interest to being the mighty Thor. The idea of immortal Jane Foster wielding Mjolnir might sound a little far-fetched, but it has a precedence in the comic books. Not only that, but Thor supports Jane in becoming the mighty Thor, and decides to simply go by the name Odin's son instead. Of course, Chris Hemsworth will be back as well, an appearance that bodes well for the quality of the film. His contract was up with Endgame, but Hemsworth said he would return if he saw the right script, and Ragnarok director Taika Waititi signed on to direct and write the fourth movie. Valkyrie being in charge of New Asgard and Jane Foster being Thor are huge changes, but it definitely seems as though this project is in the right hands. There's some debate among fans regarding what is and what isn't a part of the MCU. Many people consider only the theatrical films to be canon, while others incorporate Marvel shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. However, it seems as though Disney is looking to make streaming their shows essential to keeping up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Back in 2017, Disney announced it was going to be creating its own streaming platform to compete with services like Netflix and Hulu. In 2018, they announced it would be called Now, details about the service have finally been revealed, and it'll launch on November 12, 2019. About 7,000 episodes of various television series and 400 to 500 movies will be available when the service starts, and there will be much more to come. That may sound like a lot, but to put it into perspective, that's only about 16% of the selection Netflix offers. But don't count Disney out just yet. What they lack in quantity, they promise to make up for in quality, including a handful of new shows featuring beloved Marvel characters. First up is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which launches in fall 2020 on Disney+. This show casts Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan as Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes, respectively. The series takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame, which means Sam will be wielding the iconic Captain America shield formerly held by Steve Rogers. A retired Steve turning the shield over to Sam has precedence in the comic books, but many fans were surprised Sam didn't rebrand with a new title. Why is he still going by Falcon and not Captain America? According to Mackie, Sam isn't Captain America and is still a Falcon. Stan pointed out the potential confusion it could cause by having Captain America as part of the show's title when it describes many MCU movies featuring Steve Rogers instead of Sam Wilson. However, Mackie confirmed he's been fit for a Captain America costume, and he's spoken about assuming the mantle of this iconic hero. So it seems likely that although he will start off as the Falcon, it's only a matter of time before Sam finds a way to truly step up into the role of Captain America. The show will also feature a Captain America villain who's made an appearance on the big screen before, who despite being a mere mortal managed to pull off an incredible feat in his last appearance. Daniel Bruhl plays the role of Baron Zemo, who appeared in Captain America Civil War. He managed to cause a schism between the Avengers, and unlike many villains in the MCU, he managed to survive the end of the movie. Now he's back, and he's going to prove trouble for Sam and Bucky. In addition to appearing in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Wanda Maximoff will also be appearing in a show on Disney Plus set to start streaming in spring 2021. Seeing Scarlet Witch featured in another prominent role isn't that surprising, nor is the fact that the show will tie into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. What's shocking is when this streaming series takes place. In Avengers Infinity War, Vision sacrificed himself in order to protect the Mind Stone, done by the Mad Titan Thanos. Avengers Endgame made it look as though Vision was gone for good, since he didn't return when Bruce Banner undid the decimation. The show WandaVision features both Wanda reminiscent of the late 1950s. Incredible illusions before, but his actions in Avengers Endgame left a lot of fans scratching their heads. In Avengers Infinity War, Loki lost his life at the hands of Thanos and only made an appearance in Avengers Endgame because our heroes had traveled back in time to the Battle of New York. This version of Loki managed to get his hands on the Space Stone and disappear to parts unknown. One of the biggest questions fans had after Avengers Endgame wrapped up was, where is Loki? It's a question Kevin Feige has been asked many times, and he promises the new show Loki will provide a satisfying answer. Keep in mind, this Loki isn't the one who was standing bravely by his brother's side in Thor Ragnarok. It's the same spiteful Loki from the first Thor movie, as well as the Avengers. According to actor Tom Hiddleston, there's a lot of psychological evolution that is still yet to happen. Comic book fans in particular have a lot to look forward to in summer 2021, since the famous What If comic concept is being turned into a series. Unlike the other MCU shows available to stream, this one is animated, but will include voice acting from many MCU stars including Chadwick Boseman, Karen Gillan, and Paul Rudd. Jeffrey Wright will be portraying the Watcher, a being who observes events in the MCU. He's a member of the same Watchers from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that coincided with the cameo from the legendary Stan Lee.
Yo, what's up, you Breaking Solid? Yeah, baby! T, how we all doing? It's been a while since I've done a video like this. Your boy is reacting to reactions to my song. So obviously I've been reading the comments and seeing what people have been saying about the song. And it's like Marmite. People either love it or really hate it. Either way, if you know me, you know I'm always gonna switch things up. I'm never gonna just do the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, this should be very interesting to see what people people say on these reactions? Let's start off with my main man, Laid Back. A man that truly loves all my music. Alright, let's do this.
It's your boy Laid Back with another reaction, another review, another episode.
Oh shit, his hair's grown. It's been a while since I've seen him. Or maybe he's always wearing a hat. I don't know.
Pop it. Let's get it.
Okay, he's like, oh, this is different. This is different. Okay, I think he likes it. He's bobbing his head. Hey, of course he's gonna love. Of course he's gonna fucking love Polo G's bit. Of course.
Oh shit, what's this? The disco era? They done took it back to the disco era.
The 80s.
Disco balls dropping. Alright, let me stop, man. Let's just hear what.
Yeah, but that was hella cringe. Don't ever do that. For me, this song sounds like I'm flying through the universe, literally in a spaceship. It just, I don't know, that's what I think whenever I hear this song. It's euphoric. I just love it, especially with how Youngblood sings. It just hits with the instrumental. It's like, oh.
The KSI doing all type of genres. Like he don't give a fuck. Hard trap shit, disco shit. He got the singing shit with Craig David. He got a whole bunch of different shit going on.
He knows.
I'm impressed that he's branching out
Right,
so many different layers of art.
Bro, that's just how I am. I do whatever. I don't give a fuck. I ain't ever gonna be in a box. Fuck that. I want people to be excited about everything that I do because you don't know what to expect. That's what. Brain. Whoa. I don't really want to.
Need more than that. You can't give me like 4 bars and get the fuck out of here. You singing this shit. I need a little more verse.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. This song definitely sounds like it's Youngblood featuring KSI and Polo G. Like, it doesn't sound like my song. I'm gonna be real. I always keep it real. And that's why my next single, it's just gonna be me. The one and only KSI. That's it. No features. No one is gonna hop on this. It's just me, okay? So wait for that. Next single, watch.
You know what I'm saying? You can't get in and get out like that. Unless you come in more, you know what I'm saying, on
No,
the
there's more. There's more. There's more. Chill.
But
chill.
you can't. Come on, man.
Imagine that's all I did. That would be a piss take. It's so cool, like with the effects that we added on this part. I don't know, it just made it sound more galactic. The vision was pretty much spacey, and then for some reason the music video is in a fucking graveyard, and I'm just in underwater. I had ideas, but budget in it.
I feel like they hiding KSI on this record. I feel like they hiding them. Like they giving them they a little here and there, but they not giving them, like, you know what I mean? They tucking them away. They ain't really. Come on, man. Come on, KSI.
Maybe that's why people are pissed off. They're just like, there's just not enough of me.
All right, so that was KSI Patience featuring Youngblood and Polo G. Trash or pass? I'm gonna trash that one.
What?
You know what I'm saying? I really wasn't feeling that. Nah, I'm just playing. That was a pass.
Hey, yo, you piece of shit. I was like, yo, man was jamming the whole way and then come through with the trash. Fucking Laid Back, bro. You're moving mad.
It was hella different. It gave me old school vibes. Like I said,
Okay.
Disco Inferno type shit. I don't even know what Disco Inferno is, but yeah.
Yeah, what's Disco Inferno? What, people on fire while on the dance floor? What kind of discos did you go to, Laid Back, man?
KSI, if you gonna get on a record like this, man, sing, motherfucker. Do your shit.
Bro.
Don't be tucking away and doing pop in and pop out. Get your ass on here and sing your heart out and shit. You know what I'm saying?
You'll see.
Youngblood did his thing, and it was, like I said, it was different to hear Polo G on some shit like this. I said it before, like, it sounded like KSI is trying to be like a pop star or something. You know, like,
I'm actually not. I just enjoy music. I like making different types of music. I don't like being one genre. Like I've always said, like I'm not doing this for the money, man. Like I got money. I got plenty of money. I just enjoy making music and just having fun with it. So fuck it, why not try different genres?
I wasn't expecting none of that shit.
Okay. Alright. So Laid Back likes it. Okay. One of my biggest critics likes the song. Alright, that's interesting. And if anything, he was like, yo, I need to hear more of KSI. That's why my next single, bro. Anyway. Bro, I'm already hyping up my next single. Let me hype up this single. What the fuck? The worst KSI song ever? This is John Anthony. I swear that sounds like the most basic name ever. Anyone who's got John or Anthony in their name, I'm sorry, man.
Alright, what is going on, y'all? It's the Kid. And I am here with a motherfucking reaction video. Now, KSI.
Yes.
One of the biggest YouTubers in the world.
One of them, yes.
Just dropped another record. Now,
calm.
Not really a big fan of his music, though.
Fair
I don't
enough.
Be listening to him like that on
It's
a daily
alright.
basis.
Cool.
It's not my type of shit.
Yeah, it's
But
alright.
he just did a joint with Youngblood. I don't know who the fuck this geezer is.
Fair enough.
I don't know who he is. Never heard of him in my life. So
I
hear him for the first time.
Yes.
Just dropped another record. Now,
calm.
not really a big fan of his music, though.
Fair
I don't
enough.
Be listening to him like that on
It's
a daily
alright.
basis.
Cool.
Just not my type of shit.
Yeah, it's
But
alright.
he just did a joint with Youngblood. I don't know who the fuck this geezer is.
Fair enough.
I don't know who he is. Never heard of him in my life. So
I
hear him for the first time ever.
Calm.
And Polo G, which I am not a fan of personally. I don't listen to Polo G. But KSI and Polo G mixes for a pretty hard rap record.
Oh boy. Oh, this ain't gonna be good. Man thinks we're gonna rap. Oh boy. Alright, there we go.
See, what's gonna happen here, man? I'm expecting KSI to come at us with some lyrics. KSI has not been coming out with any hard tracks like he had on The Simulation. Nothing like Killer Killer or
The thing is, with my next album, there is hard tracks, alright? There's actually quite a few hard tracks where I spit hard, rap, bang, bang. Bro, with singles, fam, you have to pick the best song that works for the majority of people. Like with Really Love, I know a good majority of people would enjoy that song. Same with Don't Play, and same with Patient, and same with the next single that I have. Obviously on the album, I got tunes where I do drill. I got tunes where I'm rapping mad. And then I got tunes with more American rappers and any rappers. And then I've got some more experimental shit. Legit, my album is all over the place, but it's good. It's just how I am. I love like music. I love all genres. So, you know, I'm always gonna switch it up, and I have such a wide audience. It wouldn't make sense just to do one genre. Anyway, let me shut up and fucking...
Twitter is that this is one of KSI's most hated songs so far. People are fucking shitting all over it. So I'm gonna stop waffling and we're gonna get into the goddamn review. Let's just get into the video.
Yep.
And let's react to this shit. Here we go. Patience featuring Youngblood and Polo G by KSI or Legit A BT.
Oh,
let's go. Listen to this shit. Okay.
I feel like he's not going into it with the best mindset. He sounds pissed off already. Oh my god, man. Oh boy.
So you mean to tell me KSI got a Polo G feature? Polo G. And this is the record he's on. Listen, man, I don't know who Youngblood is, but off of this cartoon, I could just tell that he doesn't fit this record at all.
Oh no, he does.
He
Trust me.
doesn't fit a KSI and Polo G collaboration at all.
Oh, no, he does.
Where does he fit in this?
He fits in this song
I
perfectly.
saw a lot of people complain on Twitter about that, but I didn't back it up because I didn't know who the fuck Youngblood is. But right off the bat, this. Does not sound like something Polo G and KSI should be on, man. Let me listen to more.
Hey, smile, man. Fucking hell. Oh, here we go. Oh, he's not feeling it. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Wait till it gets to my verse.
This wants to be Starboy so bad. What is that song by The
Starboy.
Weeknd? Blinding Lights? Look at the cover. The cover wants to be Starboy so bad. And the beat, this just wants to be Blinding Lights so bad. This just wants to be The Weeknd so bad.
Jesus Christ.
That's what this wants to be.
Weeknd.
KSI's been going for
levels above me, man. Levels above all of us. Come on. If we can have a little bit of The Weeknd, yeah, we'll take it, fam. We will take it.
KSI's been going for commercial radio hits. And he succeeded. Platinum record.
Safe.
Top of the charts. This is
Safe.
already number 1 on the UK iTunes charts. Already number 1.
He sounds pissed. He sounds pissed off that it is. He's like, a song like this is number 1. It's succeeding. Like, what the fuck?
So he's succeeding in that range. I get it. You're succeeding. But at making good music?
Oh.
Nah.
Oh.
Nah. You can make way harder shit than this KSI.
Ouch.
Way harder shit than
Oh,
this.
ouch.
This is not you.
Well, what the fuck? Why would I want to stay being the same fucking artist the whole time? If you want the simulation KSI, listen to this simulation.
That was a good CD that you dropped last year. That was a good look to the